we became friends and hung out, and I supported her because she was going through a tough time with the divorce and the remarriage of her previous husband. And we just took our time, we became friends, we hung out, we traveled, and little by little, you know, all the things that were naturally connective, the connective tissue with us happened in a beautiful sort of evolutionary.
Oh snap, all good things do actually come to an end. I guess, well, it's official guys, Tina Know and Richard Lawson have finalized their divorce. But here's the thing, Tina has to pay Richard some cash as settlement, while she didn't receive anything from him, but allegedly even before they got to that agreement, Richard wanted more than just a one-time settlement, and wanted Tina to provide SPO support child. The way we know Tina, there was no way she was going to accept it. And she was probably like, look, here's your one-time payment, take it or leave it. But are you guys also wondering why she had to pay him anything? Shouldn't each have just kept anything that they came into the marriage with and then divide up anything made during their time together? Why exactly what Tina need to pay Richard is it to buy his silence? But then again, $300K is not enough to buy the silence of such an established man. So what's really the deal here, baby? This is what we are going to try to figure out, okay? As y'all may recall, Tina and Richard shared 8 years of marriage after exchanging vows on a yacht in Newport Beach, California in 2015. And for both of them, it marked the second marriage. And before things really went south, they actually had the sweetest things to say about each other.
When I met Tina, re-met Tina, and we started hanging out, I felt a vibration because we vibrated on the same level. We talked about the same things. We had energy, we had a rhythm. We did things together, and it just was so natural that when her hand in mine was in mine, I felt a power, and I felt an energy, and I felt a vibration that made me feel so good and so proud to walk with her, to talk with her, to have every experience with her. And it was truly on a spiritual, vibrating level.
Now about what happened with Tina and her previous husband, Mathew Knowles. Well, that's really not news, because Mathew was sleeping with anyone he could convince. They actually separated in 2009. After it surfaced that Mathew had fathered a love child with Alexandra Wright, Tina then dropped the suit in 2010, only to refile in the following year, stating conflict of personalities which prevented them from reaching a reasonable reconciliation as the reason. And it wasn't just about Alexandra, cause Mathew had been cheating with other women for a pretty long time.
Let me tell you something about taking a picture crying next to a garbage dump. That is the most dramatic thing ever. But I see, even though you're in such a way, you can still get your nails done, did, girl. And Jacoya was pregnant at the same time as Alexandra Wright. And this is all on it's a blurred line as to whether he was actually divorced from Tina or going through divorce. Whatever it is, it's really sloppy. I wonder what Solange says. You know what I mean? Because now that we know a bit about Solange, I wonder whether she windmilled him.
As for Richard, he was married to his first wife, actress Denise Gordy, from New Year's Eve 1978 until 1989. Now, Denise is a pretty hush-hush person, so we really don't have a lot of details about what happened in that marriage. But anywho, last year, Tina filed for divorce from Richard. And while a lot of Hollywood divorces are usually dragged and drama-filled, this particular one actually took such a short time according to court documents. The decision to end their marriage was caused by irreconcilable differences that arose between the parties, which led to the irremediable breakdown of the marriage, making it impossible for the parties to live together as husband and wife. Now, terms of the settlement reveal that neither party will get spousal support. But Tina was ordered to give Richard a one-time payment of $300K as far as assets. Tina got a 2018 Tesla, a 2020 Bentley, the Matriarch book partnership with Penguin Random House, a 1% interest in Kirby Beauty Management, LC Furniture and Art in her possession, and all creative works, ideas, drafts, and materials that she generated during their marriage. The settlement also said that Tina was awarded her separate property, which included her Ella home, a property in Texas, all furniture in her properties, all jewelry in her possession, her retirement accounts, and all earnings she accumulated since the date of separation. She also agreed to pay off any credit cards in her name and all outstanding balances on any and all household expenses. On the other hand, Richard was awarded a 2021 Cadillac Escalade, various bank and retirement accounts, all money owed to Richard Lawson Studios earned royalties, and all his creative works that manifested during the marriage. Richard was also awarded all rights to his studio artwork, jewelry, clothing, his royalties, and all rights to his SAG pension plan. Richard will cover his credit card debt and all debt related to the CATC. And like I mentioned, Tina agreed to pay a one-time payment of $300,000 to Richard. And in addition, the settlement also had a non-disparagement clause that prohibits either of them from speaking negatively about the other or the other's children and their spouses. The clause stated with respect to the mutual desire to protect the privacy rights of any and all present or future grandchildren of either party. The parties agreed that they will not, when asked by any media or person, discuss said grandchildren or future grandchildren, whether verbally or in writing. Honey, to specifically tell Richard not to spread tea about Beyonce and family is crazy to me. But it's also smart because, all the radio shows would have asked him to go on their shows just so they could ask him how they are, and so forth. Plus, allegedly, there's a lot of tea about Richard from the 70s and 80s. And he was apparently known for running his mouth a lot, so maybe this is something Tina knows, and that's why she chose to add that clause in the divorce settlement. Truth be told, Richard has spoken a bit about the grandkids in the past, but positively.
You could see the transition in terms of her being a little bit more calm. She's the diva, but she's sharing her divadom.
Well, word on the street is that Richard was not satisfied with the one-time payment of $300K and was seeking spousal support. And while most people were already struggling to understand why he was even given a one-time payment, others were like, "Hey, you actually want spousal support, baby." I personally cannot confirm that Richard asked for spousal support, cause to me, he looks like somebody who can comfortably stand on his own. But we also had people saying that because of what Tina put him through, maybe he does deserve the spousal support. And where people are coming from with this is how Tina was allegedly super mean and disrespectful to Richard for the entirety of their marriage. Fans always saw the signs way before the separation, and when it comes to Tina and Richard, people first knew that there would be trouble when Tina decided to keep the last name of her serial cheater ex-husband Mathew Knowles. How do you keep the last name of somebody who made it his life mission to disrespect and embarrass you for years? Well, a lot of people may argue that it's because Tina played a huge role in making the Knowles name. But to others, she just never thought that Richard was worthy from the beginning. And that's why she didn't drop the Knowles name anyway when they were together. People also started noticing that there was trouble in paradise when they did an interview, and Tina said Richard was far from perfect.